So you always do this where you're the first person to die. You used to do it all the time in pubs. And then no one would have a leader, and you'd be like, just stay there, guys, and then we'd die.
Lightning second in command. In any PvP MMO, very often the hardest thing is getting a large group of players working together to achieve a common goal. Now, when I talk about objectives, I'm not talking about lofty goals such as taking towns. I'm suggesting smaller, more minute decisions such as avoiding a gun nest to attack a pillbox on its flank, or avoiding a group of enemy players to create an element of surprise. But before we can do that, we must first understand the flow of battle. How do you fight in Foxhole? The idea is that you'll spawn using soldier supplies, you'll run to the front line, you'll die, rinse, and repeat. Now, how do we do this as a group? Imagine you take that same principle, but we magnify it by 10 times. As a group of 10 players, you spawn as a group, you gear up as a group, and you head out as a group into a single direction. It's still following the same flow that all players follow, but it has a much stronger impact on the front line when those 10 people arrive together and with the right equipment for handling a specific tactical objective. Now, the most obvious flaw with this system is that not everybody dies together. When you run up as a group with 10 players to the front line, one person dies, and then 2 people die, and then 3 people die, and not everybody's going at the same time. That means that a lot of players are just sitting at the fob waiting to regroup for the next push, and this is a huge waste of time. The goal, then, should be to reduce the number of times you regroup. So here's how it's going to look from start to finish. At the very start, you're going to get your large body of players together at the FOB, and you're going to gear yourselves out with more equipment than you need. That is to say, 4 more magazines than you should require, or a couple more grenades that you should require, but you never want to encumber yourself. The point is that you have more gear that you're going to be able to use in this life. Now, as a group, you head out. There's a lot more that can be said about how to make these tactical decisions when we're out, but we're going to skip that for the time being so we can keep on the flow of battle. As a group, we hit the front line. We try to find ourselves what I like to call a hard point. These hard points are defensive areas that your team can occupy that are going to be difficult for the enemy to assault and remove you from. You want to move as a group from hard point to hard point. So as a group of 10 men, you'll see here that we move up and take this hard point between these set of buildings. There's not a lot of firing lanes, and so you can see from a lot of the wardens just running around that there are quite a few players here, and it's not easy for the colonials to remove you. This is our hard point. You'll also notice all of the equipment on the ground. This was brought up by our team, as well as the rest of the team who is utilizing our hardpoint. Feeling that this particular area is difficult for the colonials to dislodge us, a lot of our teammates gravitate toward it, creating something of a hard area for the enemy to assault. Now, this is how we reduce the number of regroups. If our squad does not completely wipe, let's say we lost 2 or 3 people, those 2 or 3 people do not even need to rearm. They simply deposit their pistol and ammo and hammer and run to the front full speed, picking up gear from the ground and rejoining the squad right there on the spot. In this way, all we have to do in order to resume our assault is wait. If we know that we've lost a sizable sum of our squad, all we have to do is sit here and try not to die until the rest of the squad arrives where we can make another play. So to recap on the flow of battle for an organized squad. You'll get all of your players gathered together and gather more than enough equipment in order to take a hard point at the front line. You'll move up as a team and secure that hard point and then wait. Any players that have died on that assault and continue to die while holding the hard point will deposit their starter equipment at the fob and run back full speed to recover the equipment that their team is still protecting. Once your team has a sufficient number of players returned to the front line and rearmed with the equipment from the fallen soldiers, you are ready to make another play. Armed with this knowledge, as a commander, all you need to do is control that flow of battle. Your job is to tell your team when to attack and when to defend. If your whole team's hard point was just taken by the enemy, it means that all of the downed equipment is now gone, and any players running back with their bare fists are not going to have a weapon to pick up. What that means is it's time to fall back and regroup, to rearm as a group and retake the hard point or find a new one. If you're sitting at your hard point and the enemy is pushing on it very hard and a lot of your men are dying, it means do not attack. Watch those angles and hold that equipment. As long as you can keep guard on that equipment, those players running back with their fists will have a weapon to pick up when they return. If your whole squad is there and there's not enough going on, now is the time to assault. Identify the next hardpoint using a set of binoculars, make a plan, and execute that play. That's all I'm going to talk about in this video. I will talk extensively about how to make plays and how to execute them in the next video if this is still a topic people would like to hear more about. This is Crazy Flying Chicken. Thank you very much for watching. If you do like it, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, hit me up on the Discord. I'd be happy to chat. Thanks.